Hello everyone, this is Hanif Razak. I am doing BS English from Benazir Bhutto Shahid University. Today I have a project about learning and stages of language. So now we have an honorable guest, Sir Asif Ali. So Sir Asif Ali, I would like to tell you that first of all, just introduce yourself.
All right, my name is Asif Ali, and I have done my master's in English literature from Karachi University, and I did my master's in linguistics from Australia in 2009, and I have been teaching for some good 20 years. And I would say that I've spent almost my whole life teaching English language literature, and these days I'm teaching O-level, A-level English at Beacon House School. Yes, that was all about myself.
So, Sir Asif, just I would like to ask you a few questions
Yes,
about
please.
the strategies of learning. And my first question is, tell me tell our audience about the pre-production of the language.
Okay, the pre-production stage of the learning English is the stage when the child is at this stage where he keeps on listening people speaking around him, and he catches everybody's words and he stores the words in his mind, but he does not speak himself. He only keeps on listening people around him and store the words inside his mind, so that when there are so many words, and then he starts pronouncing. So the pre-production stage of the learning any language is the stage when a child only stores the words and keeps on listening but does not speak. Yeah, that's the pre-production stage.
Okay, that's great. Just to I would like to know, just tell our audience about the early production of child.
All right. So the early production stage of learning any language is also interconnected with the first stage, which was the pre-production stage of learning any language. In this stage, the child who has been listening to the people around him speaking, and he has been storing the words and learning the words, but was only listening, was not speaking. Now the time comes that he starts pronouncing the words one by one. Gradually, the words that he has been listening, he starts pronouncing the words now. And in this stage, a child or a learner can store some good 1,000 words in his mind. 1,000 words is a normal limit that we have learned in the literature. In this stage, the learner can learn or understand or store some good 1,000 words, and then he slowly start pronouncing those words.
Yeah, that's good to knowledge you are providing
Thank you.
our audience as well as me. And I would like to ask you one more question about just tell our audience about the speech emergence.
All right, so now the third stage comes, which is called speech emergence. Now, in this stage, the student or the learner who was storing the words in his mind, who was just improving his vocabulary and listening people around, and in the second stage, there were some good 1,000 words that he can store in his mind. But in this stage, speech emergence, he can expand his vocabulary up to 3,000 words, as per the science and the research. So he can expand his words up to 3,000 words, and moreover, now he starts speaking some good long phrases. Like, he was only able to pronounce some of the words, but he was not able to pronounce some long phrases. Now, in this speech emergence stage, he starts pronouncing some long phrases, and not only that, he starts writing and he starts reading and writing the assignments. So this stage, in other words, enables the speaker to jump into the speaking of a new language. So he expands his words up to 3,000 words, starts reading, writing the assignments, and starts speaking the long phrases. This stage is basically called the speech emergence stage. One.
That's good and very interesting. Just and tell us our audience what is intermediate fluency.
Okay, now the fourth stage comes what we call intermediate fluency. All right. In this stage, the learner starts speaking now fluently the phrases that he has learned, the word that he has learned. Now he starts putting those into phrases and into speaking. And at the same time, his vocabulary also expand to 6,000 plus words. That means that in this stage, he can store or he can remember more than 6,000 words of a new language with their meanings. And now at this stage, this learner can speak a little fluently, can make sentences, can understand the language, and can respond the language into the same language. And at the same time, the learner have ability to write and read and understand the reading material of that language into any form of the reading, and can write his own ideas and sentences, or maybe in a shape of in a mode of assignments and all that. So in this stage, learner becomes quite capable to write the sentences and read and understand.
Well, this is called uh, intermediate fluency. So tell us about the what is advanced fluency.
All right. As I told you, when you start asking me these questions about the different stages of learning a language, I told you that there, according to the literature, there are normally 5 different stages of learning a new language, and this is the last stage, which we call the advanced fluency. All right. You can count me and you in this stage that. Well, when a learner, starts listening, storing the words, and then starts putting those words into start pronouncing the words, and then start putting the words into the sentences, and then the time comes, you can write, read, understand. But now the advanced fluency stage comes. In this stage, a student or a learner can now speak very fluently a second language, which was basically not his own language, which was a second language, as English language is a second language spoken all around the world. For us, it is a second language because it is not spoken in our country as a first language. So the learner in this stage starts speaking very fluently. He can expand, improving or learning his vocabulary. Now he has a lot of vocabulary to understand and communicate with anyone in English. He reaches to the certain point where almost he can understand the English people. I wouldn't say that 100%, but I would say that at least 90% he can understand the language of the English people, and can communicate and can convey his thoughts and his messages. And on this stage, there's very important thing that this learner now starts thinking in English. The stage comes when you start thinking in English. Then I don't think that whatever comes in your mind you can convey with you can't convey with having any hurdles. Without any hurdles, you can communicate with anyone in this language when you start thinking in English. Throughout the 20 years of a tenure, I have quite often told my students that the time comes when you start thinking in English. That's the time when you are a very good learner, you are the advanced learner, and you can speak this language very fluently. So these were the 5 stages that you asked me today, and you have revived the time that I've spent in my university and when we used to learn these whole things. Thank you very much for asking these questions,
Okay,
Hanif.
thank you so much, sir, for your giving.
That's pleasure.